Good day and welcome to the Words of Life Prophetic Daily Devotional, your more sure word of prophecy with Sean A. Mitchell. Well, we've come to part 5 now on Jesus' sayings for successful living. So let's jump right back into the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, verse 7. And we're going to come out of the New King James Version, and it reads as following. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Well, one of the things that we see right away is the law of sowing and reaping. You know, when you sow a seed, you will reap whatever it is that seed actually is. So you don't sow, for instance, an apple seed and get, an apricot. You don't sow a orange and get a pecan. Whatever seed it is that you sow is actually the seed that you're actually going to get. And so here the writer is saying, Matthew writing on behalf of Jesus, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. So what is the merciful? What is mercy? Let's talk about this real quick. Merciful means to be compassionate by word, deed, and specifically by divine grace. And so I really like that because remember, and as we've been saying, as we've been going through this particular series here, that Jesus is prophesying basically through what we call the Beatitudes. He is speaking, something that is going to come. So he's prophesying, and he says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. And so he's saying you're going to be blessed because of the simple fact you are a merciful person. And you're going to reap what is that which you've sown. And again, remember that word blessed means to be happy. It also means to be joyful. But what he's talking about here too, when we're looking at this mercy, and we see that mercy is something that we get by divine grace. And God is extremely merciful. So in order to get mercy, then you have to actually have mercy given to you. It's no different. The scriptures tell us we love him because he first loved us. And so when you are born again, and remember, that's what this really is about. When he's talking about blessed, he's referring to that, these are all things that are available in the kingdom of God. So blessed is the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And that's where we started off at. And so it's the same here. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. And so this mercifulness and this mercy is what you are going to get right out of the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God. But in order to get it, you first have to be born again, and you're going to have to need it imparted into you, into your recreated spirit. And so once that happens, one of the fruits of the spirit actually is these things of love and joy and meekness and, things like that. And so now here comes mercy. Mercy is something that is deposited within inside of your recreated, born again human spirit. And so there's a divine grace that's given to you, something that you don't earn, something that you don't deserve. And this mercy is given it to you. And because it's given to you, you now have the ability to give it to someone else. So blessed are the merciful. So now you're able to give mercy. And when you give mercy, it's like a seed being sown into the ground. You're going to now actually reap mercy back to you. And so that's what mercy is all about. It's compassion in word. So when you talk to people in a certain way, when you hear things, you're very compassionate, for them, and you speak back. Your words show them compassion. Your deeds show them compassion, and you do this by divine grace. The ability of God actually working on your behalf and working through you. Now, what does this word compassionate mean? The word compassionate means to feel or show concern for someone who is sick, hurt, poor, etc. And so you don't just, say it, but you actually feel it. and then you actually show it. So it's like, your actions and your deeds. Faith without works is dead, is what the scriptures really say. James talks about a lot of different things, and he says, I'll show you my faith by what I do. It's pretty much what he talks about. And so when you're compassionate, you feel basically you could take on the same thing that person is taking on, and it basically causes you to, it invokes you to respond and show, compassion to that person, or become the solution to whatever it is that particular individual really needs for them. Let me show you some examples, because, Jesus showed compassion in a number of different situations. So let's just show you three. So Jesus healed the sick, and you can find that in Matthew 14:14. And it says that, when he looked upon him, he had compassion. He also healed two blind men as well in Matthew 20 and verse 34. He looked upon them, he had compassion. And then he healed a leper in Mark chapter 1, verse 41, because of the simple fact compassion came upon him. And so when the compassion comes upon him, what does he do? He responds. It's the same thing with Lazarus. Remember, his friend Lazarus was sick, and his friend Lazarus died. And this is one of the scriptures where it's probably the shortest. Jesus wept. And that weeping is not so much sadness, it's compassion. And because he wept, it caused him to respond to the death. And what we know of the story, he raised him from the dead. And that's what he did. Amplified version says that this way in verse 7 in Matthew chapter 5, blessed, content, sheltered by God's promises. And I love that you're sheltered by God's promises are the merciful. So whatever God says concerning the merciful, you're sheltered by that. That means nothing can come in and break that particular promise or hinder that particular promise. They could try, but it's not going to win in the end, because then you will receive mercy. And sometimes it may not seem as if you're going to receive mercy based off of different things that are transpiring or happening around you. But again, blessed, content, and sheltered by God's promises are the merciful. And Passion Translation, these are the three translations we use, throughout this particular series. The Passion just says it this way: how blessed you are when you demonstrate tender mercy. I like that. When you demonstrate it, not talk it, but demonstrate it. For tender mercy will be demonstrated to you. So we see action taking place. And these are the sayings of Jesus today for successful living. It's these sayings that we talk about in Matthew 7, chapter 7, verse 24. This is the wise man. He's likened to a wise man who hear these sayings, put them into practice. He's a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain, the wind, all these things come, and it did not basically destroy his house because it was founded on the rock. So take this today, be merciful, cause for your house, which is yourself, to be founded on the rock, because you know what? There are going to be times where you may not want to demonstrate mercy. Your flesh wouldn't want you to, but when you do that, then you'll be likened unto this wise man. So I pray that this has been a blessing to you today, this more sure word of prophecy. Share the words of life with someone, be an encouragement to someone. Write us at info@sam-ministries.org. Bring a prayer request, whatever it is that you need, so that we could be a blessing to you. Also, you can go to my website, you can subscribe and get the words of life right into your email, so you don't have to go searching for it or anything. You can also like Shawnee Mitchell Ministries on Facebook. Whatever it is that is easier for you, I invite you to do that. And if God has put upon your heart and you want to be a blessing to Shawnee Mitchell Ministries and the Word of Life, the more sure word of prophecy, by all means, whatever out of your heart, sow a seed. And you could actually go to our website and see how to go about, just hit the donate. And whatever the amount is, it will help us to continue to encourage, continue to build the kingdom of God, spread the gospel wherever we go. So we bless you, and tune in tomorrow to the Words of Life, the daily devotional, the more sure word of prophecy with Shawnee Mitchell.